Personal footprints for insouciant sock knitters. How to open up the leg of a personal footprint sock with perfect corners. To make a personal footprint sock, first you knit the foot, sort of like this. The leg seems to be missing. Actually, this sock has a leg. I'm hiding it to show you. But the leg comes out of, as you can see, out of a rather flat foot. And don't worry, it won't turn into a flat-footed sock. It'll turn into a beautiful sock that fits you very, very well. Now let me show you how we get there. And kind of fold this back up. You'll start out by knitting something like this. It will actually be open at the heel end at this point before doing the leg. Here's about what it will look like. This is the front, and here we have two lifelines, and they are where the leg is going to be. Now up back here, this is where the heel is still open. That will get closed with a 3-needle bind off, but only after we've opened up the leg so we can turn the sock inside out and close that from the inside where it won't show. In fact, it will look beautiful. First thing I want to do though is show you how this opens up. We're going to put all these stitches that are on the lifeline on a needle. See, there they are? There they are. That lifeline went through when you got to that point in the knitting. So here's how you reload the lifeline stitches. You just slide the needle right through the passageway that the lifeline is following. Everything will be picked up exactly right because the lifeline went through the stitches on your needle, so they can't be wrong. It's the way they were on the needle. Okay, I'll be back when I've got this all done. I've got the lifeline. I have the needle through the lower lifeline, as you can see. I'm going to take the other end and start through the second lifeline. Now I could be doing this with a second circular needle, but it works just fine this way. This is a 24-inch needle, which gives you enough cable to work with for picking up, reloading all these stitches. Now I'm really not picking up stitches, I am reloading them. They are held by the lifeline. Picking up stitches means that you aren't sure where to pick them up. A lifeline means you can reload them because they're properly mounted right on the lifeline. I'm almost to the end here. I guess I'm sticking with you. Okay, almost. Okay, so now here we are. The needle is through all the stitches, and I can pull out the lifelines, can't I? Notice you put the needle through first. If you were to pull out the lifeline first, how would you know where to put your needle? So the needle goes through first, and then watch me pull out the lifelines. All gone. Now all we have is the needle in there. Now, in order to knit, we would have to open this up, wouldn't we? And I want you to look carefully. We're going to take a middle stitch, and we're going to cut it. Don't be afraid. Okay, scary, huh? We're going to cut. Now look at this. In the book I have you tie a string around a middle stitch after putting in the first lifeline and knitting one more round, but I didn't do it, and I hope you'll do it initially, but you don't really have to do it if you have good eyes. Notice, I want you to look at this really carefully. See, there's a stitch there, there's a stitch there. Those are each on the needles, and the in-between one is the one I'm getting. So I'm just putting this clippy marker through so I can lift it up. Why am I doing that? Because you don't want to cut anything but that stitch. In other words, don't stab your scissors down in there. You'll cut right through the other side of the sock, and that would be really dumb. So we're going to lift this up and then cut it. Okay, you ready? Notice I'm lifting it up. I should be able to cut that and nothing else. This is not steeking, by the way. Steeking is when you cut a whole column of stitches down the front of a sweater. Look at this. 1, 2, 3. Arm. Whoops. Scissors need a little sharpening. There we go. Oh my goodness, I cut my knitting. I'm so frightened. Don't worry. Watch what happens next. First thing I usually do is stick my finger through the hole and wave. That gets the unraveling going. Then you can take the end of a needle and begin unraveling. Now I want to tell you something really important. See the last 2 stitches on each needle? In other words, that one, that one, that one, and that one. These last stitches. Last 2, last 2. We are not taking the yarn out of those stitches. We will be knitting them. They're on the needle, but we will not be unraveling. We'll unravel to this point and stop. Same thing on the other end. I'm going to do all the unraveling and then show you what that looks like. Okay, have a look. You can see how right here the yarn is still through the last 2 stitches on this side. It's the same on the other side. Now let me just show you something. I'm going to pull the needle here. I want you to look what this does. It means that everything is nice and smooth. When you start knitting, I'm not sure if this is focused or not, but when you start knitting, everything will be very, very nice here because everything is on the needles. There will be no holes. These stitches will be knit, properly mounted. See how they're twisted in that way? You'll still knit them properly. They were mounted properly on your lifeline and they're mounted properly on the needle. So you'll always knit them like so, and like so. And everything will be smooth around here. I'm going to get ready to knit and show you. I now have this on 2 circular needles. It could be on 1 long circular needle or it could even be on DPNs. But what's important is that I'm going to have you start knitting in the middle of the back so that your yarn runs continuously past the corners. I wouldn't want you to begin your yarn in a corner because then you have a weakness in the corner, and we're looking for strong corners. And as you can see, you're going to have very nice strong corners. Let me show you what it looks like in the finished sock. I want to show you the finished sock, how it looks after knitting. As you can see, there are no holes. It's a tiny little bit of a gap there, but there are no holes. Tiny little bit of a gap there, but that's just really the colors changing. The fabric goes across here, and on the inside, there's yarn in there on the inside strengthening the corners. The heel, which is closed later with the 3-needle bind-off, is smooth as can be and very strong. Sock likes to lie flat like this. And it will fit you like a glove. Okay? So the whole trick here is leaving the yarn in the last 2 stitches on each needle when you're unraveling for the leg, and leaving it in there permanently. Don't ever take it out because it will hold your corners strong. And there's no trickiness about it. You simply just have good corners. Just because the yarn is in there doing it for you, and you don't have to know much about it. Just do it. Okay, and that's how you open up the leg. Oh, by the way, how do you knit the leg? You know that. You go up and you bind off.